You pride yourself on your discipline. You never miss a Monday. You train through the joint pain, you push through the exhaustion, and you think this relentless grind makes you superior. But take a brutally honest look in the mirror. You are not growing. In fact, you might actually be getting smaller. The very discipline you are bragging about is biologically cannibalizing your muscle tissue. You are not failing because you are lazy. You are failing because your blind discipline has pushed your central nervous system into a chronic catabolic state. Your body is literally eating its own muscle to survive your routine. This is the biological truth the fitness industry refuses to tell you. They want to sell you more pre-workout, more programs, and more motivation. But motivation cannot outwork human biology. If you are here for fitness entertainment, close this video. But if you are ready to stop acting like a victim to your routine, subscribe to this channel. We deal in biological reality here. Let us dissect the crime scene that is your daily routine. You wake up at 6 in the morning. Your alarm shocks your system into a state of panic. You are a man with a career, bills, and responsibilities. Your baseline stress is already elevated. You drink a massive dose of caffeine. You rush to the gym. You put heavy weight on your back, and you push yourself to failure. You call this the grind. Your brain calls this a survival event. You need to understand how your central nervous system interprets your lifestyle. The human brain does not know the difference between a heavy set of squats and running from a predator. Both require an immediate, explosive release of adrenaline and cortisol. In a natural environment, this spike in stress is temporary. The threat leaves, and the body recovers. But you never let the threat leave. You finish your workout, you rush to your car, you fight traffic, and you go to a stressful job. Your body remains locked in the sympathetic nervous system state. This is the fight or flight mechanism. And here is the brutal, undeniable rule of human physiology. You cannot build tissue in a sympathetic state. It is biologically impossible. Muscle growth is a parasympathetic process. It only happens in the rest and digest state. You are spending 23 hours a day in survival mode and wondering why your body refuses to spend valuable energy building bigger biceps. When your body is constantly dealing with systemic stress, it initiates a process called the Pregnenolone Steal. Pregnenolone is the master hormone in your body. It is the raw material used to create both cortisol, your stress hormone, and testosterone, your male drive and muscle-building hormone. When you are constantly overworking a stressed nervous system, your body makes a biological choice. Survival always wins over aesthetics. Your body steals the raw materials meant for testosterone production and converts them into cortisol just to keep you functioning. You are literally castrating your own gains through sheer blind effort. Every time you use sheer willpower and discipline to force a workout your body is not recovered for, cortisol floods your system. Cortisol is a highly catabolic hormone. It breaks down complex tissues, like your hard-earned muscle, and turns them into immediate glucose for survival. You think your discipline is building armor. Biology says your discipline is dissolving it. This is why you feel exhausted but wired at night. This is why you hold stubborn fat around your midsection. This is why the weights feel heavier every week. You are trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of quicksand. The fitness influencers tell you that you need more volume. They tell you to train 5 or 6 days a week. What they do not tell you is that their routines are designed for 20-year-olds with zero life stress, or men who are injecting synthetic hormones. If you are a natural man between the ages of 25 and 45, following a high-volume program is a slow, methodical biological suicide. Your muscles are not the weak link. Your muscles recover relatively quickly. It is your central nervous system that takes days, sometimes weeks, to repair from heavy neurological output. When you train a muscle before the central nervous system has recovered, the brain limits the amount of electrical current it sends to the muscle fibers. You think you are pushing to failure, but you are not. Your brain is simply shutting down the signal to protect you from catastrophic injury. You are not stimulating growth. You are just creating systemic inflammation. You mistake this inflammation for progress. You get a pump in the gym. Your muscles feel full and tight. You look in the mirror under the fluorescent lights, and you think you are growing. But it is a biological illusion. That fullness is not new muscle tissue. It is swelling. It is edema. It is your body sending fluid and blood to a localized area to clear out metabolic damage. Within 24 hours, the fluid leaves, the inflammation goes down, and you shrink back to your exact starting point. You are caught in an endless loop of damage and swelling, never actually reaching the phase of architectural repair. We need to stop the bleeding. We need to introduce the concept of the minimum effective dose. In medicine, if a patient needs 10 milligrams of a drug to cure an illness, a doctor does not give them 50 milligrams just to be safe. The extra 40 milligrams provides zero additional benefit and causes massive toxic side effects. Your training is a drug. It is a biological trigger. To trigger muscle growth, you only need to send a single, clear signal to the body that its current environment requires adaptation. Once that signal is sent, the workout is over. Any additional volume, any extra sets, any junk reps you do simply dig a deeper recovery hole that your stressed nervous system now has to climb out of. You do not grow in the gym. The gym is a demolition site. You only grow in the dark when the nervous system is completely shut down. You must become ruthless with your efficiency. Stop doing 5 different exercises for a single muscle. You are creating redundant damage. Pick 2 movements. Execute them with absolute mechanical precision and terrifying intensity. Once you hit the threshold of failure, once the biological signal is sent, you drop the weights and you leave. You must transition your mind from the mentality of a construction worker moving bricks to the mentality of a sniper. One shot, maximum impact, immediate extraction. But changing the workout is only 20% of the equation. The real secret, the mechanism that will unlock the anabolic resistance, is what you do in the first 30 minutes after you leave the gym. Right now, you finish your workout, you drink a stimulant-heavy pre-workout or coffee, and you rush into your day. You keep the cortisol elevated. You must break this cycle. You must force your body out of the sympathetic state and drag it into the parasympathetic state. This is called the down-regulation protocol. When you finish your last set, do not look at your phone. Do not check your emails. Go to a quiet corner of the gym or your car and sit in total silence for 5 minutes. You are going to practice box breathing. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Hold empty for 4 seconds. Repeat this cycle. This is not meditation. This is a mechanical override of your nervous system. Deep, slow breathing signals the vagus nerve that the hunt is over. The predator is gone. It forces your heart rate variability to stabilize. It drops cortisol levels instantly. It opens the biological window for nutrient partitioning and muscle repair. Next, you must audit your chemistry. You are demanding high performance from a machine that is lacking basic raw materials. You are likely deficient in magnesium, zinc, and vitamin D. These are the foundational building blocks for central nervous system repair and testosterone production. You cannot out-train a mineral deficiency. Fix the foundation before you try to paint the house. You think training 6 days a week requires discipline? It does not. It only requires ego. Real discipline is not going to the gym when you are tired. Real discipline is forcing yourself to stay home, eat, and recover when your ego is screaming at you to go lift heavy weights. Your current version of discipline is a biological error, and it is making you smaller every single week. It is time to upgrade your operating system. When you align your actions with your biology, the transformation is aggressive. The brain fog lifts. The chronic joint pain disappears. You walk into the gym with actual aggression, not caffeine-induced anxiety. The weights move faster, and for the first time in years, the mirror will show a different man. You will be doing less volume, spending less time under the bar, and you will force your body to grow simply because you finally allowed it to. You are no longer an amateur breaking his body for validation. You are a biological architect. You design the stimulus, and you manage the recovery. If you are finally done fighting your own biology. If you are ready to drop the ego, cut the volume, and master your central nervous system, I need to know who is with me. Drop the words "protocol initiated" in the comments below. This is not for engagement. This is your digital signature on a new standard of operation. Stop destroying yourself. Start engineering yourself. Protocol initiated.